That's right. Greetings, fellow DC superfans. Tiki here. And after getting educated in all things DCAU Batman, I've decided it's time to embark on a journey to the Arctic to learn about Superman, the animated series. Aiding me along the way is Blue Dragon 5.
That's right, folks. Like Jarrell, I'm serving as Tiki's pre recorded guide through Superman the Animated Series with the goal of shedding light and showing Tiki the way to better understand the history of the last on Krypton.
So let's fly to the Fortress of Recaps and talk Two's a crowd. All right, so Dragon, yeah, we are really in the thick of it now. What I love about this show, and honestly, this might sound sacrilegious, Dragon, but I think I'm kind of coming to a point where I honestly might be enjoying this show a little bit more than Batman the Animated Series, just because I love how this is truly, because Batman the Animated Series was essentially like blue meth Batman, right? Like Mask of the Phantasm was obviously blue meth Batman the Animated Series, but Batman the Animated Series, it's like it took Batman and it did Batman really, really well. And what I really love about Superman the Animated Series, though, is that it's truly like it is embodying the character for sure. But I love how much it's doing its own thing with it. I love how we're getting these reoccurring characters. It's certainly not serialized in the way something like like Invincible or something is serialized, obviously, but we are getting character threads. We are getting relationships being re-explored, and I'm really liking it. As for this episode, it's honestly another favorite of mine. I think it starts out like you'll kind of have to be the person to start out the recap because like it starts out in the middle of the action. I'm like, whoa, wait, what's going on? Okay, I remember that guy. I remember that guy. All right. I'm up to speed. It took me a minute to really kind of catch up to where the plot was because it does kind of drop you off in the middle of the action. But after that, once it gets going, I mean, I love the fact that Superman is taking on new dynamics. I love that we have a returning character from last episode really shining. There's a lot of cool set pieces. I love Superman in a scuba suit, Dragon. I love that iconography. And I love the heady kind of like two people sharing the same mind and body sort of thing that we have going on with the villain this episode, and I love how it's visually represented. So yeah, overall, in spite of the fact that I had a little bit of a hard time putting the pieces together at the very start, which is more of a me problem, I think this is rock solid, man. I think this is another home run.
Yeah, I'm surprised you like this one. I'm pleased. Yeah, because I remember you weren't really thrilled about the first Parasite episode.
Yeah, I think the first Parasite episode, I like the character of Rudy. I just don't think that episode was really it was fine. It just kind of felt like, okay, this is sort of like just a standard like Superman side quest. But honestly, now that Rudy has more character development, I really feel like I attach myself to him a bit more than his first appearance.
So, there's not a lot of background on this. So, our director on this was Hiroyuki Aoyama. Now, Mr. Aoyama here did he was so he did three. This is the first of three Superman the Animated Series episodes that he directed. He did an episode of the new Batman Adventures, but it's not a great one.
Uh-huh.
However, the big claim to fame that Hiroyuki has is he was on Akira. He was one of the animation directors on Akira. I want to say during one of the big bike scenes, which they homaged in Batman Beyond Return.
I'm really not surprised because there are a couple moments in here visually, like explosions and stuff, specifically like particle effects that look straight out of anime. So I'm really not surprised to hear that.
Well, there's a reason for that, but first let's talk about the writer. We had Stan Berkowitz, writer
of Burke.
Yes, the Burke. Yes, from he wrote Way of All Flesh, one of my favorites, and Never Fear from the new Batman Adventure. So this is the Burke man.
Mhm.
Studio worked on this, hence the anime look. TMS, Crown Jewels, TMS did select a handful of the Superman the Animated Series episodes, but still some of the best ones. He did My Girl, did Little Piece of Home, and Way of All Flesh, three really good ones.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right, so beyond that, only really two things to note here. So I want to say, if memory serves, this is the second of 3 episodes featuring Parasite. So there's kind of a trilogy going on there. I mean, I forget. I don't think. Here's the thing. He pops up in the DCAU beyond this. Well, literally beyond this. We do see him in Batman Beyond for an episode.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, at the epilogue episode of Justice League Unlimited, which is technically the finale of Batman Beyond. Semantics aside, we see Parasite again. Regardless, we had a special guest star this episode. I wonder if you picked up on who it was, Tiki.
Probably not.
Okay, so Dr. Earl Garver, our villain, or the
Can I
additional villain.
guess?
Yeah, who do you got?
Is it Malcolm McDowell?
Tell me that's not your actual guess.
I'm sorry.
That's the dumbest guess you could have given me, Tiki. No,
Wow.
it's not Malcolm McDowell. God, no.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
Okay, first, here's why it's a dumb. Okay, Malcolm McDowell's Metallo in this show, man.
Okay, that's the
Metallo.
thing, Dragon. I apologize because I knew he was somebody. I didn't remember who. So I apologize for taking a guess based on a voice actor that I knew for a fact was in the show.
Yeah, so all right. Why is it different?
Cock-a-doodie Hawn.
Would you like another guess? And actually, a decent guess.
No, just tell me. Just tell me.
I mean, you're gonna love who the guest star is.
Okay.
Brian Cox.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You know what? This is gonna sound like this is gonna sound really bizarre. You know who Brian Cox sounds like in this to me though, like the young Brian Cox.
Malcolm McDowell?
No, not Malcolm McDowell.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
No, Lance Reddick, honestly.
A little bit. I can see that.
That's a lot like Lance Reddick to me. I don't know why. But anyway, so Brian Cox, of course, from Succession and X-Men 2, is a Stryker, and of course Logan Roy.
Yep.
Anyway, yes, that's pretty much it. All right, let's just
Look off, Metallo.
Pretty much.
God damn it, Superman! God damn it! I'll stop.
Okay. So, Tiki's right.
He's on my M&M, Superman. Sorry. Go ahead.
Right, so Tiki's, well, he was right. So earlier he was right that we start in the middle of the action. So Dr. Earl Garver, basically an ex-Star Labs scientist. He's kind of gone off the reservation when he kind of saw, you get the sense that I don't think he was planning this for a while. I think honestly it was like with the running theme of the show with the villains, it was the idea of, power corrupting, where this kind of an average Joe Star Lab scientist, he comes into an experimental.
This guy's a new character, I assume, right?
Yeah, he's a one-off, yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what I was having trouble with because I knew that Parasite was going to return, and I knew that this guy obviously wasn't Parasite. I'm not that dumb, believe it or not. But
do we have to
I
get
wasn't
the DG
entirely sure if this guy we had seen before or not. So that might be one of the things that was kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Don't worry, Tiki. We don't need the flowchart. It's got a big sign of Dick Grayson and Robin. We have like the collapsible pointer. Okay, Tiki, put the hat on him. So that's DG.
Didn't I have another Dick Grayson style moment? Do you remember what that
was? Well, I mean, you've had it with other characters. I'm blanking on who the other characters were.
I know it was something recently, but I can't for the life of me think of what it was. Anyways.
Anyway, all right.
Code Geass, do you remember that? So you want to be an Imagineer lore?
Yep.
We got Code Geass in the comments really quick. I'll kind of shout him out. He says,
we often put Tiki in dumb hats.
Oh yes! Code Geass, you do know the lore. I'm proud of you.
Oh, there you go. Yep, that was a good. That was more during
that was bad.
Memoirs. That was during Memoir. That's why.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, it was really bad. You killed off Diane Lane, you monster. You killed Superman's mom. How dare you?
Code Geass, I am genuinely so happy that you actually like knew that off the top of your head.
Well, it was pretty embarrassing, Tiki.
It was. All right, so Code Geass also says, out of the Superman episodes that you've covered so far, tonight's episode is the first of them that I don't remember.
Oh.
And he says, I think that Batman the Animated Series is possibly the best superhero cartoon, so I can't put Superman above it, but I respect your opinion. Yeah. Look, objectively, pound for pound, I think that Batman is obviously probably the better show. It's more groundbreaking. It's probably consistently better on an episode by episode level. I'm just saying, I really like that this Superman show it's taking me in unexpected places with the character, which is something I'm really enjoying about this show. Anyway,
the thing the show has in its advantages, people collectively, they only know Superman from those movies. There's
exactly. So that's what I'm really enjoying, because I mean, you know me, I kind of have like a baseline understanding of like Silver Age Superman and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I appreciated all the more deep cut stuff in the James Gunn Superman, but I'm not exactly an expert on any of that. So it really is fun kind of like getting to explore the broader world of the character this way.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Anyway, so with the whole power corruption theme with the villains, it feels like this was a guy who was like an average Star Lab scientist who basically came into this very dangerous experimental isotope, and he said, "I'm going to turn to a bomb and use this power to get rich and basically hold the city ransom." That was kind of.
I need to find Bane so he and I can collaborate.
Yeah. That comes later.
God.
All right, so he's holed up in this armored home of his. That again, he's an advanced scientist, so he probably has a fortified place. I mean, I guess it's believable enough. So Professor Hamilton's Mr. Exposition here, basically spelling out.
I honestly think Hamilton is like the most in James Gordon mode that he's ever been this episode. Would you agree to that?
Oh, I would agree. And again, I love Professor Hamilton, and he's kind of Jim Gordon with a twist with what we do later in the show and the DCAU broader. So it's kind of like, what if we were able to. I guess the advantage of Hamilton is if he is the Jim Gordon figure, at least tantamount. I know everyone's going to say, every time I bring up the Jim Gordon, I'm always worried people say, well, no, there's Dan Turpin, there's Maggie. So I know there's Maggie.
No, I honestly think it's a little bit of a different dynamic, though. I mean, we already talked about them, and it's like, I feel like they kind of more represent kind of like that more old school, like, like gumshoe detective stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you could make the argument as more Renee Montoya and Harvey Bullock, but it's
that's the thing. I absolutely think those two are more Montoya and Bullock than Gordon. Yeah, you're spot on with that.
So anyway, but Hamilton though, again, it's kind of like. Unfortunately, the DCAU, because of the bad embargo, we really couldn't do as much Batman stuff as they wanted. So because of that, we couldn't really bring back like Gordon and company. I'm not saying there was really a desire to, because again, little Gordon went a long way in the DCAU, which was fine for me. I'm cool with that. But it was neat that Hamilton, as we get through it, we do have a really big payoff with Professor Hamilton in the DCAU with progression of this show and how it bleeds into the greater stuff. So that's it was kind of like, what if Gordon could have an arc? That's kind of basically what you have with Hamilton, which is kind of neat. So point being, Professor Hamilton, he's trying to appeal to him, trying to talk him off the ledge. He's being ignored, and this is really cool too. That we have kind of a Mad Bomber plot here. But we have like the sci-fi and the futuristic kind of Superman twist to it, though. It's like an experimental isotope that's going to the bomb. The guy's got like an armored house.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Turpin's like, they're about to, kind of go in there, but they can't because the guy has basically this Flesher Supermanized home battle fortress.
Basically, yes.
So,
really quick with Dan Turpin, I do think it's nice that he appears like immediately after his premiere episode, and I also think it's a smart writing call that we get Superman teaming up with what's her last name? Dragon Sayer or Sawyer?
Sawyer, like cats don't dance, Tiki. It's Sawyer.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, I like that Superman teams up specifically with Maggie Sawyer when last week's episode was more of a Turpin team up, and Turpin, he's there. We established that he's still around and he's going to be a regular player, but he's taken out of the game early in this episode. So I think that was a smart writing call.
Which, by the way, again, Kids WB, we took out his knee, It's like Turpin's knee, the battle of Wounded Knee, here with Dan Turpin. So Superman arrives. He's looped in on the bomb threat situation. Let's see. We have we established the bomb has like a very large square mile radius, so that's the stakes of the episode. So again, even in the midst of the action, I think we're pretty economic with the exposition.
You
We
know
can
what
go
this
everything we
episode
need to.
genuinely felt like?
What does this episode feel like?
It felt like Superman meets Mission Impossible.
I mean, a little bit, I guess, kind of.
No, I definitely think it does because it involves just like some rich asshole who's got some crazy weapon, and we have like I don't know. I think there's some I think there's some flavor to it. Anyways.
All right. Well, I don't think he's rich. I think he just kind of stole a lot of Star Labs technology. That's what I think it is. Because he's asking for a lot. I would say he's asking for a lot of money because I think so. But you're right, though. He has a really advanced house, though. How did he buy that?
That's what I'm saying. Well, excuse me for thinking he's rich if he has a super advanced house.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I can see why anyone would make that assertion. I'm just saying I think maybe he stole it. That's how
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
He's still asking for like a lot of money for a ransom. I don't know if I don't know if the rich need to get richer.
Like honestly, this guy kind of gives me a little bit of like not nearly as charismatic, but a little bit of a Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3 vibe. Not so much with his personality, more so what he's actually trying to do.
Let's get Logan Roy. Do you have a wife? Well, do you? I'm gonna hurt her.
Where is the rabbit's foot, Superman?
All right, so Superman forces his way in the house. So we have the electric door bit. He takes on some heavy gunfire. Basically, a lot of really cool kind of physics.
Dragon, I honestly think the image of Superman just charging like head first into machine gun fire is it's so iconic. It's so quintessential Superman, right?
Yeah. But I love this house was so tricked out to take out anyone who came in. So just Superman was just so I guess was just the right person for this.
It's almost like a little bit of like a high tech Kevin McAllister house, a little bit.
Pretty much, yeah. So anticipating Superman. This is cool. This is showing with the world building here. This is showing kind of like with Lex. Superman is a known entity at this point, so there are precautions made. So Earl Garver here, he knew, not in this moment that Superman's going to charge into the house, but knowing that Superman is going to be looking for this bomb, he has encased the bomb in lead so it cannot be found.
Uh-huh.
So this is this is the thing. This is Superman changing the game of Crime Metropolis and how we're going to come up with ways for the villains to get one over on him if he has X-ray vision. And we basically he's going like a speaker saying, well, the bomb's encased in lead and the countdown has been activated, so Superman can't easily just put a Band-Aid on this one. But he underestimates Superman's strength, though. It kind of brings down this giant metal press, and Superman, he basically pushes it back, and while it's like collapsing, like a wire cracks Garver, bam, right in the head. He's comatose, which is not ideal for a time-sensitive situation. So, episode premise after that, kind of our Mission Impossible premise, I guess, if you will. How do we get answers?
It's obviously Mission Impossible with like telekinetic powers and stuff. I'm not saying like the whole going into someone's mind is Mission Impossible. I'm saying that the mission that Sawyer and Superman go on is kind of Mission Impossible coded a little bit.
Right. So, episode premise. So how do we get answers within 4 hours with a mad bomber who has been knocked out and he's going to be knocked out for a few days, like potentially for a few days? How the heck do we do that? Professor Hamilton has an idea, a crazy idea, just so crazy, it just might work.
Mm-hmm.
So Superman and Maggie Sawyer, they visit Stryker's Island for the help of the Parasite. Bum, bum, bum.
But I really like that in this episode, I forget how he's characterized in the first episode he's in, but I like how he's got kind of just like an average Joe kind of New Yorker, like man on the street level criminal kind of character energy to him.
Here's the thing. That's pretty accurate to like the idea with the Parasite and Rudy Jones when done right, and what we see here, and usually every version that has been Rudy Jones since, like even like the Man of Tomorrow, not the new James Gunn movie that hasn't come out yet, but before there was Superman, Man of Tomorrow. It was an animated movie, and Parasite featured in there, and they did the same average Joe janitor kind of thing. Basically, Rudy Jones cell line average Joe janitor who gets chemicals drenched on him, and he basically goes from average Joe to power hungry, parasite maniac. That's essentially.
But I do like that, like in this episode specifically, he's not exactly power hungry. He literally his goal is Cable Dragon.
Yeah, which is great.
I find that like so quaint. You know what I mean? It literally is just like an average Joe. He's gone through the whole mega maniacal thing already. He's past that. In a way, like I feel like he's almost like the protagonist of the episode.
Well, yeah, and the thing with Parasite I really like here with that is, at the end of the first episode with Parasite, he basically kind of got, because remember he found out Superman's identity and everything. We had to reset that. So in resetting that, it's kind of like we gave him shock therapy. He kind of went through a traumatic thing. That's how he lost the memory of Clark Kent being Superman. Also, it was kind of per his power set too. It basically kind of I guess he forgot whatever he learned. Semantics aside on it, the point being, he kind of got a reset, which may have been kind of his rehabilitative kind of treatment. And it's kind of with Batman's always. It's kind of interesting to see Batman has just tried and tried again and failed time after time at rehabilitating all of his foes in Batman the Animated Series. Superman, he's having a lot better luck with them the first go here, kind of,
Uh-huh.
But that's the thing. It's kind of the slippery slope with Parasite. This episode goes pretty well. Beyond this, we see he does kind of get turned a little bit, but again, turned because it's Rudy Jones just being the average Joe who was off, and this is kind of what let him down villain in the first place. He was an average Joe who was offered money to do a bad thing. It's like it's the ethical Albuquerque versus dilemma. Like do you bend the rules?
Sure.
And it turned that horribly wrong for him. So here he is still that guy, only is being removed from people he can absorb and everything. He's I think Professor Hamilton is vouching for the guy. Superman's worried that this guy could be as dangerous as 12 dozen bombs. As 12 dozen bombs, but they're desperate. And the hard.
When I was a lad, I had 12 dozen bombs. Sorry. I saw the opportunity and I took it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it's a hard sell to get his cooperation, but even the risk of the whole unknown bomb radius thing says, "You think I'd miss this? I could even if I blow up, what do I really have? What do I really have going on for me right now?" And he says, "Look, I'll help, but I want something, cable, not just cable. I want the premium channels."
You know what I love about that dragon is that it's a small ass, but like. Really, and we see at the end of the episode, and I love the ending of the episode. Like, we see it is a genuinely big deal for him. Like, when he's just sitting in a cell, it's a game changer. Like, so I don't know. I love how, I love how kind of down to earth and realistic that ass is.
Yeah, it's such a hilarious kind of moment to me, just like Superman and Sawyer and everyone's just reaction to what does he want? Oh, guys, want something outrageous. Mm-hmm. He's like, he's very realistic. Okay, I know I'm probably not getting out of here, but just can I get cable?
Right, exactly.
Very reasonable, which just kind of shocks Superman. Like, oh, okay. So this makes sense
for that right there. Kind of switches the character instantly into like, okay, we kind of like this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for Rudy Jones being a small timer operation is what got him into his origin in the first place. He would think like a small timer, so this makes all the sense in the world that he would ask for cable and do this. Mm-hmm. So we have Parasite in this Hannibal Lecter kind of sci-fi Hannibal Lecter setup. So he doesn't escape, and his hand's encased. So the touch is as limited as it gets. Rudy absorbs. They bring him into the hospital room with Garver, and he absorbs Garver's consciousness. But not just that, not just his memories, but Garver. I want to say because Garver is so crafty and smart, this is able to happen, or because he's comatose. Take your pick. Garver basically he can now get the superpowered body. He basically takes over Parasite's mind, like because he's smarter essentially. He's the dominant personality, and the two of them are kind of locked in there.
Mm-hmm.
So Superman appeals to Garvin. This is not what they wanted to happen. They just wanted, like, Parasite, get the memories. We know where the bomb is. End of episode. Let's go home. Let's get this man some cable. That's what they were hoping was going to happen.
Right.
So Superman appeals to Garver, who's now in control. I love the creepy detail. We established this in the first Parasite episode. He can mimic voices, so he's now talking like Brian Cox.
Yeah, totally.
So Superman appeals to him, and he makes a very clever Superman play here. Like, look, you don't even know what hospital you're in right now. You could be in the blast
like that
radius.
detail. I like because you don't even really think about the fact that like most hospitals, it's like if you just wake up in a hospital, you don't know where the fuck you are. You know what I mean? Like it's not even something that you think about. But yeah, that was a clever little writing bit for sure.
Yep, and it'll be you and your body. So either way, you're a goner. And Rudy, he seems to, like, we have like the floating head effect here, whereas like Rudy's consciousness is trying to get him to cooperate. Like, look, man, it's just, given, they'll treat you real good if you give up. As in his experience, they'll give you free cable. Just do it.
And as I said, I really like the way that the split personality thing is animated. Like, I like how we build from like the translucent head kind of representing the voice inside his head to when we're going to go directly inside the head and see the two characters in the black void. It's all very creative stuff.
Oh, by the way, it's a little fun fact. I think, well, not a fun fact, it's a little weird aside I thought you might enjoy.
Sure.
There's a real episode with Brian Cox. What would be hilarious if Brian Cox was cast as Glomgold from DuckTales?
You totally see that.
Could you see that?
Like in a horrifying photorealistic CGI quote unquote live action remake?
I don't know if I want to go that far, but in theory, yeah. Anyway. So, he has like best laid plans. So he seems to admit defeat. You have Superman and Maggie Sawyer. They're in these Star Lab scuba suits. Okay, so this is where we're getting back into the toyetic nature of the show, where look, it's not like toyetic in like to the 10th degree of a Schumacher film, but it is toyetic in the sense of, okay, they do want to sell toys, but thankfully our folks in the DCAU, they don't just do. Well, they have no control over it with variants and action figures, but the fact is, okay, look, if we're going to be saddled with this, we might as well write into the show in a way that makes sense. Okay, we address the limitation of this Superman where he can't breathe underwater. He can't breathe in space, so he's going to need like a spacesuit and a scuba suit, and that makes sense. Even James Gunn's operating on that with his Superman. Okay, even if Superman can hold his breath for an hour, he will need to breathe eventually. So, that's why the nanites were so detrimental to that Superman. That's where the idea for that came from. So, we're pulling from right sources here.
Sure.
So they search this sunken ship where reportedly the bomb is.
And like I said, Dragon, just the idea of like putting on a scuba suit, searching a sunken ship, looking for a bomb. That's textbook Mission Impossible. That's textbook Mission Impossible. Impossible.
See, here's the difference, though, for the kids out there, Tiki. Okay, if they're pulling Mission Impossible, I know they're not directly pulling Mission Impossible. If they were, hypothetically, they're pulling the TV show, not the movie.
That's fair. That's
what I'm saying. So you might be right, Tiki, but not in the way you're thinking. Close, but Right. So Garver is convincing Rudy to work with him because Garver's trying to escape, and Rudy says, "Okay, look, it's pointless. They're in the mindscape. We have the effect," and he basically offers Parasite. He says, "Look, what if I could help you retain your powers longer? So it's like you'd have freedom, you'd have power, or would you prefer cable TV, which is a cable television, which is a good line." That begets us the sinister team up of the two of them. We like,
what I kind of like about that though is that like Rudy does go along with it, but in the back of your mind, you're probably thinking like, you know what? He probably does prefer cable television at this point in his life. He's a simple man.
Yeah.
So he's simply just being peer pressured here.
I mean, he's tempted with freedom, and that's kind of the main thing here. Like, well, I could get out of prison, so maybe I'll go for this. If I can get out of prison, I could get TV anytime I want.
Well, I mean, it looks like just judging by the end of the episode, he's basically got nothing but TV.
Pretty much.
All right. Anyways.
All right. So they break off the hand restraint, the colon, the guard. Now he's got some added strength because it's like the two minds working together. And I got to tell you something, because we're gearing up for this month, but a little bit of with Parasite's power set and the fact that he can not just absorb powers, but he can also absorb like kind of the strength and like memories and just skills of people. Any average Joe, he's sucking on life force. It's a little like Cell from Dragon Ball Z, a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, totally, yeah.
Like with Cell's introduction, the whole thing is Cell's whole imperative in Dragon Ball Z is he's designed to absorb and upgrade if he absorbs androids 17 and 18. But before that, there's a whole horrific introduction of this character. He like using his creepy injector.
No, I
tail.
remember, dude.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of me as a
Yeah.
kid.
So that's the thing. So
like,
that's
Cell
kind of
in general is easily, I think, the scariest Dragon Ball villain. Is that fair to say?
I'd say that's fair. I mean, some people might be creeped out by Majin Buu, but like the later one, like Super Buu. But yeah, pretty much.
Okay, really quick on a Dragon Ball tangent. How do you and Jacob feel about Frieza?
Well, what about him?
Because I always thought that he was a little bit overhyped. Personally.
I mean, look, I think that's the thing with Dragon Ball. All the later villains, they kind of supplant the other ones. So I mean, Frieza was in the moment. Frieza was he was imposing. He was definitely a force to be reckoned with. But Frieza was always effeminate to me. It was always like I'm not as intimidated by Frieza as I am Cell or Majin Buu.
That's what I'm saying. I
to me,
like Frieza's this weird like he was probably like the first like like marquee Dragon Ball villain because obviously we had Vegeta in the Saiyan arc, but Vegeta is like it's like it's impossible to look at Vegeta as a villain in context nowadays. So
you gotta remember,
he was the first like true big bad of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, whereas Vegeta has stay power, where Frieza is a thing where ultimately it's like Frieza, we extend like it literally, Tiki, there's a 19 episode fight between him and Goku.
Oh, I remember. I fucking remember.
And then
that was the start of like the whole like next time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Frieza are gonna charge up their attacks for the 7th episode in a row.
And then ultimately Trunks like defeats him with like one slice of the sword and then blasts off the little pieces. So I mean, with that in mind, it's always a bit of a. Code Geass is like, look, to some degree, yes, Frieza is kind of joke. Frieza did have a very Joker-like quality to him, but I'm saying in the grand scheme of the show, he's easily beaten by in terms of like when we get to Cell, I think Cell and Majin Buu, there's like a lot of. Hey, we're drifting off focus here, but I mean, look, there's
drifting off really quick.
I don't think Frieza's super overhyped, but I do think he is easily kind of outdone.
Fair enough. All right, drifting back into it, Code Geass says Aquaman should have had a cameo appearance where he brags about not needing a scuba suit to breathe underwater.
Oh, that comes later too, Code Geass. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. So they team up, they escape. Anyway, so point being, Parasite's power, kind of like more of a PG version of what Cell does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Superman and Sawyer, they're underwater. They discover basically, okay, he's been playing us, he's stalling us as a false lead, and ultimately kind of a trap. Where again, rarely. It's fun to note that rarely do we see Superman underwater. So this is a rare treat too, and putting him in the scuba suit. And then we break the helmet. That was a really cool bit too. Where like we break the helmet, so he's got a bit of a time crunch. He's got an oxygen.
I feel like the scuba suit is almost like kind of like a good version of the Joel Schumacher like toyeticism,
Well, yeah.
It's like, I want an action figure of that.
Yeah. And they did make one.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Well, that's the thing. Pretty much they made the spacesuit, the lead suit, and the scuba suit. Those were like the 3 costumes for Superman.
Yep. All right.
Anyway. All right. So, okay. So the point being, Superman saves Sawyer, and as she's being like basically the ship is kind of collapsing around them, and they get out of there. Okay, and I love this. Like immediately when they realize they've been played, Superman saves Sawyer, and he just flies directly to the hospital. But oh boy, escape! They have escaped, and they only have 20 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
So Garver calls demanding 50 million in unsigned bearer bonds, and that was all the rage in the 90s. Unsigned bearer bonds was a whole anyway. So he wants 50 million unsigned bearer bonds. And he wants Superman to deliver it alone. Because, if Superman says he's going to come alone, he's actually going to come alone.
Right.
Also, he needs Superman for his plan. So that also helps too. So this is our third act. We're at the third act now. It's a pretty economic episode. It goes by pretty quick.
It is. I appreciated that. Yeah.
So we're in an abandoned subway station, which makes sense. To me, it's with the world building of the show. They don't spell it out, but I kind of like that it's there. In the modernization of Metropolis, per Lex Luthor, building upon building of like bigger and better and taller skyscrapers, there would be abandoned structures in Metropolis that are like abandoned projects or
I
like
think the show does a better job of like you said, through subtle world building, explaining the abandoned areas better than the whole Batman the Animated Series, like where we're in another warehouse.
There were a lot. That's every Batman thing. There's always a warehouse, and we never explain.
Right. But you're right. It's like this show essentially they have their warehouses, but the world building is much more kind of naturalistic with it.
Yeah. So, and I think that was a conscious choice too. Where it's like, okay, look, we can't just do warehouses like Batman because it's Superman. Superman doesn't really do warehouses.
Gotham was really bad with the warehouses too, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, because again, it's a Batman trope though. They kind of have to do
right.
Anyway, so it's a strategic choice. 2 episodes in a row here. We have the marble rocks with lead. So again, his location for this subway is again it's lead, so we can't see the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't end the episode in 30 seconds. So Superman walks in. I like the detail. Superman is walking in versus like barreling in recklessly, which could set off a bomb or fall into a trap or something. So I like that he's just like kind of walking in at a steady pace. And so the speaker instructs Superman. Mentions the pit, the giant plot point that is a pit, which also gives reason to why the subway is abandoned. Like the job was canceled because there's this giant pit that formed. So it also helps with the world building.
For sure.
He directs Superman to the bomb, gives him the code to disarm it. Seemingly, okay, this just went pretty well. I mean, we're out to bearer bonds, but it's insurance. It's insured, I guess, maybe. I don't know. It's paper. So we have our awesome jump scare. T. How'd you feel about the jump scare?
I liked it a lot. It was great. Yeah.
This Parasite buried himself under the dirt. Love his jumps out. Very Sam Raimi just grabs him. So here's what I love about this third act and this whole sequence between him and the Parasite. It feels so much, and I think the show's mission statement to some degree was to be like this. This feels very George Reeves Superman with a budget. That's what this feels like. It feels like something you could absolutely see the George Reeves Superman doing if they had the budget for like an actual Superman villain.
Mm. For sure.
Because it's very like boots on the ground. It seems really achievable. The idea Superman doesn't want to be touched by this guy. Superman's very smart. This is the beginning of this, by the way. Superman, he has encountered the Parasite before. He knows if I touch this guy, it's all over. So he's doing his best to keep the touches minimum and fight at a distance as much as he can. And also TMS-y goodness, all that great TMS fight animation. Tiki, how'd you feel about that?
I mean, it's great. Like, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, for example, Dragon, just the animation on the mechanisms of the lead thing coming down on Superman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about, where it's like it's a subtle detail, but it's very, very anime. It felt very Akira, kind of like just all the different gears and cogs and everything and the steam. Like, yeah.
And I like the risk of like Superman with any like brief touch that's happening, he could get a little weaker, and again, too long, again, the touch might reveal his identity and everything. So there are stakes that we are aware of. It just kind of feeds into the logic of the action, which is pretty cool. So this, so let's see. So anyway, so Superman, he ends up. He wants to force Superman into getting close enough to touch him, so he can absorb all of his power hungry potential of the Parasite by setting the bomb for 2 minutes. So he's got to go get that bomb. Or else it's going to go off in 2 minutes. And he's not going. I love this solution. This is such a great Superman moment here. Garver using Rudy's body is not concerned if it kills Rudy's body because his body is safely like 2 miles away north and completely safe in an ambulance. And he gloats about this, and that's his folly. And this is where we get the Daily Tim. I think we're temporarily calling this. The Daily Tim happens. I love Superman appealing to Rudy here, and actually works. Where he says, "Well, Rudy's already taken. He's willing to sacrifice you. He's already taken your body. What do you think he'll do with your mind?"
Right, right.
Garver's ego, just the glory. Just again, he just gloats
I mean,
about this.
Dragon, this is the thing. This is why I wasn't completely sure if this guy was a one-off villain or not, because he's got presence to him. And obviously he's got presence to him because it's Brian Cox, and that's probably what I was picking up on. But seriously, this guy has gravitas for just being a one-off.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? We've got Robert Patrick, and then we've got
I know, right?
Brian Cox.
I'd like to see the two of them in a movie together. That'd be great.
I think the movie would be too manly, Tiki. I don't think anyone could have enough testosterone to see that movie.
Throw in Stephen Lang as well.
Oh, God. I'm a grumpy blind guy. I can't see, and that ticks me off. I'm grumpy Matt Murdock.
You know what's funny is that Stephen Lang also played a blind guy in that movie where he's like, where the kids break into his house and he's like hunting them down.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm referencing.
Oh, I thought you were referencing Stick. Oh, Scott Glenn. I'm sorry. I'm dumb.
Did you mean Scott Glenn or did you mean Stephen Lang?
I got the actors confused for a second.
Right.
I'm okay. Okay. Add it to the chart, Dragon.
Bring it to the flow chart. Okay, so Tiki,
Stephen Lang does not equal Scott.
So Stephen Lang. All right, so Stephen Lang, he played a blind guy once, maybe twice. Was there a sequel? Maybe, I don't know, but he played a blind guy in a movie, in a franchise potentially. Flip side,
I think there was a sequel, but I
think there was. I don't know if he was in the sequel. I assume he was.
No, he was. If I remember, it was like something where he was like protecting a blind little girl or something like that, and they tried to do the Terminator 2 thing where he's like the hero this time. I digress.
Okay, either way, so again, there's the big buff potentially actor who's playing a blind guy. And then you have Scott Glenn, who very convincingly plays a blind ninja master.
I think I got it, Dragon. I think I got it.
Okay, so Scott Glenn, he was the one who was in Silence of the Lambs, and he's playing Stick. Anyway. Refocusing here. Point being, Garver is gloating that, what are you going to do, Rudy? It's this or back to your cell. And Rudy takes the moment to recontrol his mind and his body. And we have this, again, TMS, who their big thing in the tomes of the DCU was Feet of Clay Part 2, which is somebody having a breakdown. They excel at breakdown animation. So you have like the internal battle between Rudy and Garver going on. It was really well animated. Just seeing him kind of freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's not morphing and everything, it still looks pretty good.
Yeah. I love the black void. I love kind of like the translucent quality to their character models. It's all really good stuff.
I mean, just like him on the outside, like just seeing like the.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you're right. I mean, I love the stuff that's going on internally, but you're right. I like the contrast between that and what's actually happening is really fun as well. Yeah.
Right, so during this, Superman gets to the bomb, but the code has been changed, and unfortunately, Rudy has lost the fight. Cat's got his tongue.
That was a really good cocky line.
Yeah.
Good Brian. Oh God, Cat's got your tongue, Shiv. I mean, tell me you can't hear Logan Royce.
Oh, I can't.
What's the matter, Shiv? Cat got your tongue.
What's the matter, Greg? Cat's got your tongue.
Oh God. Well, Mr. Roy. I mean, come on, Greg, spit it out. All right. Anyways,
grow a beard and put your hand up a frog's keister. Lip sync the Mighty Mouse.
Oh man.
Just make up your mind.
All right, anyways.
All right, so. Okay, so they toss that. Basically, Superman tosses the bomb down the endless pit, which is a pretty good move. But then, Parasite, they tackle Superman. This is a really cool action. They're kind of going down the pit. They're clinging on to the side. Superman leaps out. A single bound. No, it's more than a single bound. But he leaps out. And, the blast ends up tossing Parasite out and knocks him out. So, we have our great reveal after that. So after the big TMS explosion, which Tiki mentions, pretty impressive.
Uh-huh.
I love the little details that TMS did too. Like Superman's like caught behind like the giant like wall of debris. It's like just kind of like it's like that was shielding him almost.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I like that. Yeah.
So Garver, this is a great reveal. So Garver wakes up to the ambulance like he's expecting, and he opens the door of the ambulance and he sees Superman is carrying him in the sky, and he almost falls out. It's like he's being
Dragon,
flown.
you know what? Like, I do appreciate that we get the coda at the end with Rudy watching the cable. That's very satisfying. But I think it would have been instant or just as satisfying, like equally satisfying, if just like, yeah, he's flying the ambulance back to the island, if that was the credits moment.
It is a classic Superman. It's a very Christopher Reeve kind of Superman moment almost.
Absolutely, yeah.
Superman's flying the whole ambulance back to the prison, so it's like, oh yeah, he's just going straight to prison. We end the episode, Garver is taken in, and we hear Rudy laughing as he enjoys the pleasures of preview.
And I don't know, man. There's just something so charming about that. Like I said, I love that Rudy in this episode is genuinely speaking like as much of a protagonist as Superman is in a lot of ways. It's like,
yeah.
So it's just nice. It's just nice that it's like he's got this simple comfort in his life now. He did a good thing. I don't know. Kind of leaves you with the warm and fuzzies a little bit.
You know what the additional warm and fuzzy thing with that is to me when I see that ending?
Huh.
It's that Superman followed through on the deal. He didn't have to, because Rudy technically broke that deal, but Superman knew Rudy did try and fight him at the end, and it did buy him some time, even if they didn't really defuse the bomb, but it's like, still, I think he honored the deal and was a very small ass. Superman just being the bigger person there is really good.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, man, I think talking through it, honestly, I like this episode even more. I really think we are in just like a great kind of stretch of episodes here. The only thing is, in the first episodes of the show, like we got a lot of really good stuff with Lex and Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, and I kind of feel like they've been on the back burner a little bit. So, I mean, I don't want you to tell me. I kind of want to be surprised and kind of just go with the show, like as we go along episode by episode. But I am hoping that we get more kind of classic, like Superman, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane stories. Not that I am enjoying the new stuff though. I'm enjoying. Obviously, we have Sawyer and Turpin, who have been kind of a big focus of the past couple episodes. We've done some deep cut villains, but I do think that we kind of I want there to be a little bit of a balance of the classic Superman iconography as well. So, I can hope for that going forward. But like I said, I don't want you to outright tell me because I want to kind of be surprised episode by episode. So,
right.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I gotta be honest. Rewatching the episode, I liked it more than I remember. This is not a well-known Superman yet.
I think this is a little bit of a hidden gem.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was better than I recall because I forgot how memorable Garver was. I forgot that Brian Cox played him, and it was quite a treat. And I remember there was an ending where Parasite got the cable TV, but I forgot where it was, and I forgot that. Oh yeah, it's this one.
Sure.
So yeah.
All right. Was that about it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, take us to the next one, Dragon. What's in store for us next week?
All right. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Studying the mysteries of the Phantom Zone projector. Superman, rehabilitating a Kryptonian criminal. Superman, saving Lois from a jealous Kryptonian female.
On the next visit to the Fortress of Recaps with Blast from the Past, Part 1. God damn it, Superman! These are my M&Ms!